This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we'll see use cases for conditional statements. Okay, so basically conditional statements, if you already know, that's fine, but if you don't know, like conditional statements are used to give some conditions, and based on that condition our output will depend. So let's say I have one requirement. First I want to display input box. Okay, that is I want to give some input into the display box. Okay, let's say it's a number. I want to give some number. Okay, so I have to give number of integer type. Integer is the data type. Okay, simple. We'll give some simple condition like to find that the given number is even or odd. That's it. Okay, even or odd. So for this, to decide whether the given number is even or odd, we have to specify some condition, right? So that is what we will see. And after that entering, okay, after entering the number, I have to get a dialog box. I have to get a dialog box. If I have given any even number, it has to display that the entered number is whatever the text. Okay, the entered number is even number, or the entered number is the odd number, something like that, some text. You should give some message. So this is what my requirement is. Okay, fine. So let's go to Studio. Let's go to Studio. So we have our project, right? Click on this one. Okay, let's take a new sequence. Okay, so I have clicked on sequence. Give the name of the sequence which you want to. So let's say conditional sequence. I'm just giving some relevant name for that. Okay, conditional sequence, and this file will be saved in this location. Create. So what is the first thing I have to have a display inbox. I need to get a inbox. So in this search activities, search for the activity called dialog box. So simply just type dialog. Okay. I think I'm writing strong spelling. Okay, dialog. Okay, so see here under system dialog, these are the activities which are available: call out, custom input, input dialog, message box, select file, select folder. So these are all the available activities under dialog related activities. Okay, fine. Now take input dialog. Take input dialog. So see here what it is saying: displays a dialog box that prompts the user with a label message and an input field. So whenever you want to give some input, okay, whenever you want to give some input, when the sequence is executed, when the sequence or whatever, if it is a flowchart, when you execute a flowchart, okay, so basically when you execute a process, and after executing that process, and if you want to give some customized message, then always use for input dialog. Okay, so drag and drop this one here. Okay, so this is how input dialog activity looks like. So now give the required inputs into this. So we can change the name input dialog to some customized name. So see here, display name, change the display name, select this one, select this activity, go to properties and write whatever the name which you want to display. Let's say get input. Okay, so change it to get input. Title. Okay, so this is what the title which you want to display for this inbox. Okay, so always it should be in the quotations. So have you given the quotation and write Uipath training. Okay, Uipath training by Saki. So this is what the message I want to display. And here in the label, what is the input I want to give? I want to give the number. I want to give the number int type. Under quotations. Enter number. So let's say this is some batch number, Uipath training batch number. I'm giving, and I want to enter the number. So I have given the enter number, and this will be saved in the. This should be saved as a variable. Okay, this should be saved as a variable. Now go to variables. Click on create variable. Let's say batch number. Okay, and what type of variable you want to give? Okay, so it is some reason. I think it is there is some reserved word. Variable is a reserved word. Batch number. Okay, int 32, integer number, right? So it will be int 32. Conditional. So what is the scope which you want to give to this variable? scope conditional sequence. That is, the scope is your process. So entire process can use this variable which you have created. So conditional sequence don't give any default. We will give the dynamic number. Fine. That's it. Now we have to give the reference here. We have to give the reference. See the properties. So we have given the display name. Okay. So we already know this when we have to give miscellaneous output result. So here in the output result, we have to give the reference of the variable which we have created. Click here. What is the name which we have given? Result batch number, right? B. Okay. So just we write first number, first letter. It will give all the list of variables which you have given under this process. Okay. Because there is only one, it has given the one. That's it. Now, very importantly, writing the condition. So how to write this condition to find the number is even or odd? So this is the condition, right? Basically, this is the condition. So how to write the condition? So here I will use if condition. I will use if condition. So if is one of the conditional statement in object-oriented programming. Okay. So or maybe even before object-oriented programming also. Don't worry about all this. But whenever you want to give the condition, if is one of the method to specify that. Fine. Now, okay. So we need not write any code also for that. So just type if. Okay. So see here under workflow control if. Okay. So we have to just drag and drop. So only remember, if you don't know if, or if you have not experienced in this, just remember that whenever you want to give any condition, use if. This is one of the method to give condition, right? Drag and drop this. So when you drag and drop if, see here how it is looking. So if condition, what is the condition you have to specify? So if the condition is yes, or maybe if the condition, then okay. So if the condition is true, it will do this then. If it is not, then what it has to do? It will go to else. Okay. So that means it will give any of the result if it is true or if it is false. Fine. In our case, what it has to check whether the given number is even or odd, and based on that it has to give the result. Now go to properties of if. So see here, there are not many properties for if. So display name is the default one. Condition, okay. So whatever the condition which you want to give, we can give from here directly, or we can give in the properties also by clicking this one. Okay, for anyone, for any properties, not only for if condition, you can give directly in that particular activity, or if you want to give, you can go to properties and give into that whatever the whatever you want to write, whatever the condition you want to specify for any activity, you can specify that from the properties section also. So I'm clicking on this. Click on this. So once I click on that, we get expression editor. Okay. So remember this terminology, guys. So whenever you want to give some condition, what you have to do, if it is if, click on this, and where do you give the condition? In the expression editor. Okay, condition. So what is the condition? The condition it will take is boolean value, that is whether if it is true or whether if it is false. Okay, so that is called boolean. Taking the condition based on boolean value, that is true or false, is nothing but condition based on boolean. Fine. So now how do we find whenever we give some name, whenever we give some number, let's say 45 or 67, how do we find whether it is even or odd? What is the logic which we have to give in this condition? So in order to, what is the logic is, in order to find out whether the given number is even or odd, the number, so this is the number, there is a function called mod 2 and the result should be equal to 0. So this is not anything programming, this is simple mathematics. Okay, so this is simple mathematics, basically how to know even or odd. So same thing right here, given number mod 2 equal to 0. Okay, when the number is given with this formula, it should result with 0. Then it will decide whether the number is even or odd. Okay, so click OK. Now so we have seen one type of output through message box. Okay, so we can see the output by message box. In the previous example, we have seen getting the output by message box. Now we will see getting an output in a different way, that is by using write line. So I have just written WR. So see here in write. Okay, so I might have used this write line previously, so that is the reason it is in favorites, but otherwise it will be there in here, programming debug write line. So otherwise in the debug write line will be there here. What is the use of write line? Writes a specified string to the output window. Okay, so whenever you want to write any specific string, okay, we have to use write line. So we have to write the numbers, right? We have to write the numbers, whatever the number, we have to write the numbers. So take this write line in this then box, and in the same way take write line in the else also. Okay, so what this will do is these will display whether the given number is even or odd. So understand activities, guys. So here in this example, finding out even and odd is very simple, but here what you have to observe is what are the different kinds of activities we are using. Okay, so here in then under quotations, whenever you give even number. This right line should display the given number. The entered number is even. Okay, so else if it is even, this will display. Whatever, if it is anything beyond this, it will go to else. And the entered number is odd. Fine, I have entered some text into this two of the right lines. Now again go to activities. Here now we have to take a message box. Where is message box? So here under dialog. Drag and drop this in this if condition, below if condition. Okay, okay, sorry, actually it has to be here, not here. It has to be here. Message box under right line only. Message box under right line only. So see here, it created one more sequence. It created one more sequence. In if, when we have only right line, it was there only in if condition. But because I have taken one more activity, message box, it created sequence. So see here, I will delete this one. Okay, I will delete this one. Okay, delete this sequence. To show the difference, I will place it once again. Right line is there. Okay, so now see here, there is no sequence. There is no sequence. Okay, but when I take message box, it is creating a sequence in them. Observe that. Message box. So see here, see, it created a message box. So whenever you use any activity, more than one activity, it will create a new sequence. Take same way another message box also. We are seeing now two different outputs. Okay, so that is the reason I am taking and copy this also. It is not good. Okay, so I have taken two message boxes under them and else. So same thing. Okay, same thing I want to display. Quotations. I will show you what is the difference with the right line and message box. Even number, odd number. Okay, so that's it. We are getting some error here. I think. Okay. So here we have to give the variable. We have to give the variable name. What is the variable name which we have given? Batch. Batch. Okay. So we enter the number here, right? So and that number is saved in this variable. So that is. So see that even the spelling which we have given. Fine. That is. Okay. So this is how. That's it, guys. So we will get. Okay, we will get the once we get executed, we will get the output. Whether we have to enter the even number, whatever the number, it will give whether it is an even number or odd number. Okay, so I will tell you what is the difference between write line and message box now. So we can get the output by write line or message box. We need not basically use both of them. We need not basically use both of them. Okay, so if you want to see the output in here itself in the output section, okay, so we can use write line. Whenever you want to see the output section, okay, output in this output panel, use write line. So this output panel is for developer purpose, right? So there you will use write line. Okay, whenever you want to see the output graphically, okay, beyond this output panel, then we will go for message box. Both will do. Both will give the result. Okay, so but write line will not give the external message box. It will be displayed here itself in the output panel. Fine. Yeah. So any doubts regarding these activities before we execute?
Second, I have also made this one, but when I'm executing and giving suppose number 5, so it is saying this is even number, not the odd number. So the logic is not working properly, I guess.
Uh, See, first you do no write the steps. So don't do parallelly. My suggestion is don't do parallelly. Watch this one. Write the steps manually, like in your notebook. Note the steps. What we have to do. What are the activities? Then practice. That will be easy for you.
Okay.
you may be missing, if you do parallelly, you may be missing something which I have said, right?
Yeah, but in this, whatever the in this logic also some error is displaying. I don't know what is it.
Mm-hmm. So fine. So you watch this one. Okay, later you can do. Okay. So because I don't know like what you have missed, right?
Okay.
So here, see here, we have to give the space here. Might be you have missed the same thing. Okay. So no errors now. Okay. So sometimes we'll give the formula, we'll give the what everything, but sometimes we may guess we have missed giving the proper variable name, and I have missed giving the space here mod 2 equal to 0. So simple, it is just a simple space, but I got 3 errors. Okay, it was showing 3 errors. Now it is fine. Okay, now save it. Okay, save it and run. Okay, so see here, is it the same thing how we have given? Okay, so the upper title Uipath training by Saket, enter number. So instead of enter number we can give enter batch number also, so to be more specific. Okay, let's say I'm giving 15. Okay, so it is giving message box odd number. Okay, same thing we can even see in output. So see here, Asha 24 execution started, that is the UiPath Studio, the UiPath Studio project name will be displayed. Asha 24 execution started, Asha 24. So see here in the middle, the entered number is odd. So this is possible by right line. We got the message box right. So that is by using message box, and right line is we will get output. So see here, we will get simple text. The entered number is odd. This is the output which we get by right line, whatever the message which we have given in the text. So let's say I will delete message boxes, but I have to give the number right. Okay, I have to give the number right. So let's say for example, I will execute once more. I will execute once more so that you will see the difference again. Run. Okay, so let's say enter, entering 24. Okay, so now we got a message box even number. Okay, so same thing now see in the entered number is even. The entered number is even. So this is how we will get the message from output panel by using right line and through message box. And what we have learned here in this one, first thing, this is the first example which we have done for sequence, and we have how to give the input, that is input dialog box. We have seen input dialog box, and after that how to give a condition. We have used if condition, and basically how to give the condition and how to use then and else. Then we have seen the difference between right line and message box. These are the three, along with the logic, along with learning the condition. We have seen another thing in difference between the output messages writing in message box. Yeah. So any doubts guys in this before we go into the next use case? We will do the same thing in flowchart this time. Nothing? Okay. So new, take flowchart. Conditional flow. Create. Okay. So always remember, flowchart will by default give start. Same, use here input dialog. Input dialog. Activity. Drag and drop here. Okay. So to give the inputs, double click on that and a new page will open. Input dialog. Display name. If you want to customize, same thing. RPA training. Right. So this is what I want to display. Okay. Sorry. So this actually is not something we have to do. This is we have to give in the title. Okay. So see here, it should be get input, and here in title we have to give with quotations RPA training by target, and here we have to give the batch number, the expected number. Batch number, right? Now we have to create the variable. We have to create the variable. Why we have to create a variable? So number, the batch number which we have entered should be saved, right? So go to variable, click on create variable. Give the same thing, batch number, and this is integer. Scope is in this process, conditional flow process. Variable is created. Now we have to give the reference in the result, output result. So see here, batch, give the reference. That's it. Go to conditional flow. Now in this previous one, in the conditional sequence, we have used, in order to give the condition whether to know even or not, we have given the if condition. But these conditions, these if conditions will not work in the flowchart. This is a flowchart. Okay, so in flowcharts, these conditions will not work. We have to search for some other alternative. So what is that we have to do is, because conditional statements will not be used in flowcharts, you have to go for other activities which are available, so that we can get the same output, and give, and we should be able to give the condition, right?
Saket, what is the reason of that? Why conditional statements will not work in flowcharts?
So because that is a flowchart, that is the reason. So what is the flowchart? We have seen in the, so we how flowchart basically looks. We have to give the condition and we have to give yes or no, and based on that it will go to it is like a flow, one by one. It will take one by one. It will not go for a logic. It will not understand the logic basically. We
Okay.
have seen the flow charts, in the basic programming, or in the basic, even in not even in the computer science, we have seen the flow charts in mathematics, right, in matrices. Okay, so it will not understand the logic. What we have to give is, we have to take a decision instead of condition. Okay, so that is the reason the if statements will not, or not only if statement or whatever the conditional statements, remember, we should not use in flowcharts. So instead we can use decision. Okay,
Mhm.
instead we can use flow decision. So see here, it is preceding with flow. Okay, so there are few specific activities which should be used for flowcharts. Okay, and which will not work. So there are specific activities which will not work in flowchart. So that is not because of Uipath. That is not because of Uipath. The basic reason behind flowcharts are built is, that is the reason, not because of the Uipath has been built, few activities for sequence, few activities for flows, not like that.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Okay, take, flow, decision. So see here, I think after seeing this you will understand. So how we give the decisions in flowcharts, by taking this one and giving the links to false and giving the links to true, and then again in the down we will specify what it has to do, if it is true, if it is false. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So here give the properties which are related to decision. So here in the condition, give the condition here, same thing, the same condition which we are giving. So whatever we have given, the same formula will apply. So to find out even and odd, again this is universal formula. This is a mathematical formula, nothing to do with flow or something like that. Okay, batch number. This is a mathematical formula, so we can apply anywhere, equal to 0. Okay. Okay. Again, we have to use the space here. Now, what is the activity which we have to take is, let's say, message box. To display the output, take message box. Take two message box basically. For if the condition is true, it will display one. If the condition is false, it will do another one. So double click on this. Wait. So what is the display message you want? RPA. Okay, so same thing. Copy this one also. Paste. Okay. Now here even number. Okay, and for this we can directly give here also. Odd number. Okay, so these are the display messages which I have given. Okay, whenever I enter the number. Now that's it. Done. So flowcharts are a bit simple than sequence. We have to link it. Link. So we have to link from both the sides. If it is true, this is what happens, and if it is false, this is what happens. Fine. This is looking like a tree. Looking like a basically flow. So it will start, get the input, go to the decision, and based on the decision formula, it will decide whether it is true or whether it is false. And whether it is true, it will display this message. If it is false, it will display this message. So even to understand a flow, okay, it is very easy. And save it. Here we have not taken right line, guys, so we don't get the output in output panel. Only we will get message boxes. Okay, if you want, you can take right line also. Enter batch number 12, even number. Okay, so we'll run once again. If it is, check. Let's check if it is giving odd number also. You have to check both the conditions, right? True and false. Okay, so we are getting the desired output. So understood, guys?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, so this is how, like, basic difference between flowchart and sequence, and what are the activities. Okay, so being careful, what are the activities which should be used in sequence, which should be used in flow. So activities is fine, but basically we have to understand, if we know what is a flow diagram, then we can easily differentiate the activities which we can. So of course that's not a problem. By doing some use cases, we will easily understand. Okay, and we have seen one of the condition. Then tomorrow we'll start with loop activities. So if you know what are the loops and what are the different kinds of loops which are available in object oriented programming, that's fine. But if you don't know, just now do a Google search. What are the loop activities? Not loop activities. Activities is something which is reserved for Uipath. Basically loops, object oriented programming loops. You will get, you first understand what is a loop and what are the different types of loops available. That's enough. Okay, so it will be very easy or catchy to understand when I'm giving use case tomorrow.
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.